presentation. I would like to give the floor now to Mr. Anwar Mahmood Rehman. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair, Excellencies, and I'm proud today to speak in this panel on my own story as a migrant who came to Switzerland as a teenager. So now this opportunity that I'm working as an international consultant on human rights and social development, and also someone whose own life has been shaped by very question before us. I arrived in Switzerland as a refugee, driven by circumstances beyond my control. I will not dwell on the past, except to say this: what Switzerland offered me was a chance to participate, to contribute, and to belong. That chance changed everything. And it is precisely the chance that the right to development promises to every human being, and too many migrants in countries of destination are still denied. The Declaration on the Right to Development is very clear on this. Every individual is entitled to participate in, contribute to, and benefit from the development. From migrants, these three dimensions are inseparable. When all these three genuinely enabled, the result speaks for themselves. When even one is withheld, the promise fails. For the migrant and for the society that loses what they could have built together. In my professional work across the world, mostly in African countries and beyond, I have seen this truth in practice. Communities that invest in the participation for their members, regardless of the origin, grow more cohesive and more prosperous. Schools that open their doors without distinction produce a generation with greater skills and greater solidarity. Health systems that serve all residents, not only citizens, reduce suffering and build trust. These are not acts of generosity, but true architecture of development. And regional mechanisms, when they function as they should, can create the conditions for exactly this kind of architecture to take root. Good practices exist, and they deserve to be named. The African Union's Agenda 2063 envisions free movement and continental integration as pillars of shared development. The European Union's integration frameworks, covering languages access, labor market participation, and social cohesion, have made a tangible difference when they are seriously implemented. These are the models worth building on. However, we must be honest about the distance between aspiration and reality. The skills that migrants carry are routinely squandered and qualifications go unrecognized. People who could contribute fully are kept at the margins, and not because of their capacity, but because of their structural barriers, and serve no one. When migrants are excluded from civic life, when they cannot participate in decisions that govern their own future, the right to development becomes a promise made at the UN and broken everywhere else. But it does not have to be this way. And I know this because I have lived it. Switzerland is not a perfect example of integration. By the way, I want to mention here, when I realized I have to give my destination country back, I took part in the politics and I took part in the campaign. And I won that campaign through the integration. My slogan was the integration. So I got that one chance also in that destination country. The road to civic belonging is long, and the barriers are real, but it is a country that, with time, made space for me to learn to organize, to serve in public life. The fact that a man who arrived here as a refugee now stands before here United Nations and in my political life, because of the choices the system made to remain open, not despite the system. The openness is worth defending, worth expanding, and worth holding up the direction of travel. It also shows what becomes possible when states choose inclusion, not only for the individuals, but the societies have gained and engaged, invested citizens where they might have had forgotten residents. States can do better. They must do better. And many already show the way, guided by the Declaration on the Right to Development, have both mandate and the responsibility to make it one. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anwar, for sharing with us your experience.